Hello and welcome to episode 31 of the podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm away. I'm drinking. I'm away.
We are the Knights of Entertainment, a podcast covering your favorite and unknown comic books, movies, games, anime, and more weekly. We hope you enjoy the show. This is what we are covering tonight. We are covering 0 Hour Crisis in Time by DC Comics. But before we do, please like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. You can also find the show on YouTube, Spotify, Odyssey, Rumble, and more. If you'd like to support us on any of those websites, we also have tiers on those. Or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/KOE podcast. But let's go ahead and get into this. Alrighty. We are going over one of the mini crisis that DC Comics had. This is 0 Hour Crisis in Time. 0 Hour was a crossover event that took place in 1994, and it was basically intended to deal with the numerous possible futures and alternate timelines in the same way the Crisis on Infinite Earths had dealt with the alternate realities.
So different than
it was a way to clean up a bunch of the bullshit that
a bunch of continuity issues they had to fix.
Pretty much. Righty. Going over it started in September of 1994 with Crisis in Time number 4, going downwards in numbers instead of upwards like normal.
Oh, that's cool.
In September 1994 as well. So it was literally every single
I bet
week.
you they were afraid. Where the fuck is number 1? They must have been freaking out.
It went from number 4 to number 0. All the way backwards, which is kind of cool. It's something that you don't see nowadays.
Did they pronounce it as such? They were like, make sure this is the 4th is actually number 1, not actually.
No, they just printed them off as that way. So if you
they must have been freaking out. All these, I know, like basically, like if you get like a 3 out of 8, right?
Yeah.
You're like, well, I just need the other 7.
Right.
And then you find out that that's 3 is actually number 1. You're like, wait.
Well, it's something that they wouldn't do now. Because it would be too much of an issue for them to even try to do something interesting like that now. It's DC Comics, and I'm going to continue to rag on DC Comics in the current age. So
they're never going to hire us if you keep doing that.
Alrighty, and there are a couple of preludes to it. So you have 2 things that took effect before this crisis actually happened.
Okay.
So in 1991, a new villain from a totalitarian future was introduced named Monarch. Monarch came from 40 years in the future, a world where he had killed off every single superhero, leaving himself as the authoritarian dictator of the entire Earth.
Wait a minute. That's like 1,000 superheroes. This must have been the busiest man alive.
Yeah.
So we're just killing every single one, huh? Jesus. I call bullshit on that.
Monarch, if I remember right, was an alternate version of Captain Atom.
Huh.
The guy that could explode himself with radiation. Where he had the red cross symbol on his chest and was solid like metal looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I forget who it is, but I know who you're talking about, especially from the JLA TV show.
Yeah.
Where I can't let you do that, Superman. I can't let you do that. I'm still a soldier, Superman.
Yeah.
Superman's like, well, I'm about to have to fuck you up then. Superman beats the hell out of him, basically.
A single hero opposed him, named Wave Rider, a man fused with a time stream who traveled back 10 years before Monarch's rise to power to prevent his creation. Exploiting a flaw created by Wave Rider, Monarch followed him back and tried to create his own rise to power 10 years before it was supposed to happen.
I'm already fucking lost. I'm gonna go back in time and stop. I'm gonna go back in time and start even sooner. I'm like, what? Wait a minute.
That's basically what happened. Monarch was revealed to be Hawk, so I was wrong. It was Hank Hall.
Well, damn.
Who was driven insane when Monarch killed his partner Dove. So it's Hawk and Dove.
Wait, so Hawk killed Dove? So Hawk went crazy from killing... Wait. So Monarch is Hawk. Hawk killed Dove. So for that to make... Wait. My brain, hold on. So Monarch killed Hawk. No, killed Dove. Wait, no. Monarch killed Dove, driving Hawk crazy to be Monarch. Monarch killed Dove, driving Hawk crazy to be Monarch.
Yes.
So it's just a fucking circle.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
And you see why they're trying to clean up the time stream? Hank killed his future self, becoming Monarch in the process.
Well, there you go.
With his new powers, Monarch spent a good deal of time fighting Captain Atom all across the time stream. Later, during a conflict with the Linear Men, which is a group of heroes that basically watch over the time stream.
I think they were in that TV show, weren't they?
I believe so, yeah.
The CW show?
Yeah, I believe so. Like whenever it had, what's that, the series that it was part of?
The Arrowverse.
Yeah, the Arrowverse. But I believe they were in that. Monarch leached a portion of Wave Rider's abilities to look into his own past and realized he had become more than simply Hank Hall. He had absorbed Dove, not simply killed her, and became a fusion of the children of the Lords of Chaos and Order. He became extant, stole Wave Rider's time gauntlets, and plunged himself into the time stream. Lost where I was at now. Oh, right. During the reign of Superman, which is basically right after Superman had come back to the comic books.
That blue and red one?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of interesting. I think I had a couple of issues. I'm like, this is cool.
The Coast City was destroyed by Mongol and Cyborg Superman.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And Hal Jordan lost his fucking mind.
Resident hero Green Lantern, Hal Jordan was driven mad by grief, having lost his home and his beloved ones. He used his power ring to recreate Coast City, for which he receives a official summons from the Guardians of the Universe. They reprimanded him for violating one of their principal rules by using his ring for personal gain. Enraged, Jordan flied off to Oa with the intention of siphoning the Green Lantern Central Power Battery's powers to recreate his city permanently.
I like that. I like the premise of that. So Guardians are like, hey, bad. He's like, well, fuck you. That's basically the premise.
Pretty much, yeah. He was forced to fight many of his fellow Green Lanterns, many of whom he killed or left for dead after taking their rings. Making it to Oa, he killed Sinestro, Kilowog, and
didn't he have like a brutal fist fight with Sinestro?
Yeah.
Where they no longer had their rings, they were just pretty much boxing each other?
Yeah.
I remember that.
And all of the Guardians, with the exception of Ganthet, which later on became the leader of the Blue Lanterns in the later series of DC. He absorbed the full power of the Guardians and emerged from the power battery, having taken on a new costume and identity, calling himself Parallax. Ganthet would use the last remaining power he had salvaged to create one last Green Lantern and imparted the last ring to Kyle Rayner. So that's before leading up to 0 Hour. We also have a different thing to add to that. And at the end of time, a mysterious figure... he basically murders the time trapper. Metron unsuccessfully attempts to enlist Darkseid to help him against what he perceives to be a gigantic upcoming crisis. Batman and Robin are surprised to be aided in capturing the Joker by an alternate Barbara Gordon, still operating as Batgirl, despite the fact that she has been earlier crippled from the waist down during the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Matthew Ryder alerts the rest of the Linear Men when his observation of future timelines are mysteriously completely disrupted. The team arrives at the conclusion that the wave of entropy is working its way backwards from the end of time, destroying everything in its paths going backwards. So something is destroying the end of time and coming backwards, destroying everything along the way.
Damn.
Rip Hunter and Wave Rider are sent to investigate. In the 64th century, the Flash fights Abracadabra. Where
I'm sorry.
The worst name.
Abracadabra.
They're interrupted with the Linear Men, and the group attempts to figure out
You know a good one? You know from Dragon Ball Z, Bibbidi?
Oh,
and then some Bobbidi?
Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
And Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. I never got over that.
Some of these names are just...
Fucking Bibbidi looked just like his son Bobbidi.
And then Boo.
And then fucking they made Boo.
Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Very clever.
The Flash, attempting to generate a shockwave by doubling back through his own vortex at ultimate speed, is consumed by the entropy and dies. Batman brings the temporal problems in Gotham City to the attention of Superman. Metron appears and enlists the two of them to help him, basically. Hunter and Wave Rider arrive in the 58th century, where they find a younger version of Hal Jordan, before he became corrupted, battling the entropy wave under the leadership of Paul Manning. Both Green Lantern and Hunter perish. Although Hunter warns Wave Rider that there's another crisis and he must check the chronoscopes, which is, I guess, what they use to observe the timeline of the DC universe, since they're outside of time itself.
Huh.
Like, the linear men don't experience time as the way everybody else does outside of it.
Just like freaking Dr. Manhattan.
Or they kind of introduce the same concept with the monitors in the DC universe, where they're not in the universe, they just observe it.
Or like the Watchmen from Marvel, just watching everything because they're
the Watchers. The Watchers.
they're perverts. Yeah, the Watchers, my bad. We watch everything. Everything.
And they do really watch everything.
Legit do.
Hawkman battles Vandal Savage and suddenly splits into many different temporal counterparts. Dr. Mist notes several of his counterparts fading in and out of existence.
Jesus, that would be fucking wild.
I know.
Imagine some sci-fi level shit hitting.
And you're just noticing shit.
You're just like, hey, what the hell's happening?
Superman approaches the new Green Lantern that was just created, Kyle Rayner, and requests that he use his ring to help broadcast a message to all of Earth heroes, letting them basically know.
Let them know we're all fucked, yo.
Pretty much, yes. Pretty much. Superman announces.
Tell everybody. Imagine Batman freaking out like, oh shit.
I mean, it's in Gotham, so he's already fucking freaking out. And mostly whenever you got a Barbara Gordon that's not been damaged, like, the fuck is going on?
Just throwing batarangs at everything for no reason. Oh, I don't know what to do.
And from all the comic books, we all know how much Batman hates magic. So you know that he's automatically trying to associate, like, the fuck are they doing now? Because you know he's going to blame magic before time. Like, it's Batman. Superman announces the coming of a gigantic new crisis and rallies everyone to meet him in Metropolis. In the chronoscopes, with the Linear Men, Wave Rider reads of the original crisis, long forgotten to all except the Linear Men. So basically, nobody knows about it except for the people watching time. The Justice Society of America converges upon Hawkman, who has summoned them to deal with the recently captured Vandal Savage. However, Savage is suddenly erased from existence. Wave Rider appears and explains that Savage died because the ancient period he was born in was just erased.
I thought it was going from the end of time backwards. How do you go?
Apparently,
Now just like a fucking sandwich on both sides, huh?
Yep.
Ain't this a bitch?
He then informs Jay Garrick of the recent death of Wally West, combating entropy. At Vanishing Point, which is where it's like outside of time along with the...
Actually, it coming back from the past is even worse because, well, in your presence trying to deal with it, if it gets right to when you're a kid or something, you're gone.
It's coming from both sides at this point, though.
Shit. That's actually worse.
At Vanishing Point, Extant lords over the unconscious bodies of the Linear Men because he just beat them all. Literally going into their headquarters, basically.
Who did?
Extant.
Okay.
The dude that kind of looks like a Spawn knockoff. That's what he reminds me of. Anyway.
He just walks up and starts whipping ass, huh?
In the corner right there.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, with the little bandolier gun thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next part of this, we have the Justice Society decides to take the fight immediately to its source, using their extensive experience with time-related problems as an advantage. Dr. Fate transports them to the Vanishing Point, so where the Linear Men have gotten their asses whipped, basically. Although Wave Rider uses Hawkman and Hawkwoman for his own purposes.
Ew, you fucking pervert.
While traveling to New York City with Metron, because again, New York City exists in the DC universe, even though Gotham exists here.
Which is what I thought it was Chicago more, isn't it?
Chicago exists there too.
Well, what the fuck is going on there?
I mean, think about it, because if you put them in the same spot in the U.S. where Gotham and Metropolis are, it'd be like it'd be New York City and almost like Boston.
That's another thing. Like, they got Metropolis like a stone's throw from Gotham. Like, two
Totally different.
massive fucking cities of like completely different architecture and like atmosphere. And I'm like, why are they so close together?
Remember, Metropolis is supposed to be the city of tomorrow.
Right. And they Gotham's like the city set in time.
It's stuck in the 1940s.
Yeah. And sometimes in the 2090s, apparently, they just keep going back and forth with Zeppelins and flying cars.
While traveling to New York City with Metron, Superman goes to investigate screams coming from Keystone City.
He's dumb as hell. What's he gonna investigate? I said I don't know any. I'm not a detective.
And he meets up with Impulse, if you remember who Impulse is.
That was the blue one. No, Impulse is one of the speedsters. Isn't it? Okay.
Yep. Who is fighting dinosaurs at this point.
Well, damn.
He enlists the young speedster to join him. Outside of the time stream, the time trapper reveals to Rock Kryn that he is in fact just an older version of himself.
I'm you, but older. Basically, I'm you, but older.
In New York City, the heroes of the world finally converge and join together. Superman is elected group leader.
Oh, it was a surprise, fucking surprise.
We kind of knew that was going to happen. The Justice Society arrives at the vanishing point, and Extant is he immediately starts blasting them with the chronal energy that he has stored up. Basically, time energy.
Hey, look at Time Juice just starts throwing time. He just starts throwing time at him. That'd be the weirdest shit to see.
That'd be fucked up.
You get some time, and you get some time. Start doing like a 45-year-old man turning into a 92-year-old man. Like, oh shit, Bam is 107.
Just collapses. Wave Rider shows the two Hawks how they are at the center of some of the problems and the ramifications still caused by the original crisis. On Kieran, Viral Dox of Legion determines that the time stream has fallen apart and sends probes into it to investigate. In Supertown, even the new gods themselves are terrified. Yeah, I know, stupid name.
Jesus Christ.
And it's one of the new, like, I guess the new gods. They themselves are terrified of the entropy, as Highfather finds himself unable to feel the powers of the cosmos anymore.
Darkseid's so terrified he used the Omega beams on himself. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna deal with this. I'm done.
I'm done with it all.
I'm like, well, damn. This is serious then.
The heroes discuss the chronal disruptions with Wave Rider and whether or not they can determine who's real and who isn't. Aquaman questions whether or not there could be a singular being of power controlling the whole situation.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah,
because I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Omnipotent being just putting both their fists together in time and just squeezing it down. That doesn't seem like logical. I'm like Aquaman. I'm a scientist.
Well, I mean, look, they just had the Crisis on Infinite Earths where the Spectre and Anti-Monitor were basically playing a game of arm wrestle. So
maybe who knows what the hell's going on, man. I'm the type of person that I hate stuff that happens, right? Unless I'm in the front lines dealing with it myself.
Right. I
hate being on the sidelines and just like waiting. Like,
you don't want to be that background character that just things happen to.
So I guess we can't go to the movies where the time's disappearing. I don't know what's happening. Like if a crisis happens, I got to be in there on the front lines.
The Justice Society continues to fight Extant, but are grossly overmatched. He uses his powers to age them at this point, so he does. He throws literal time at them. The Atom.
Damn it, Robin, I'm 97 years old. What the hell you want me to do?
He needs a colostomy bag and everything.
Somehow Robin got hit more, so he's like 109. And Batman's like 73. It's like, damn it, Robin. It's like, Batman, I'm old as fuck.
The Atom is outright murdered. And
he just fucking kills her. Like, I don't get to be old, huh? I just get to straight down.
You're dead. And Dr. Fate is defeated as well. Wildcat and Sandman, which not one of the endless Sandman, but
okay,
the JSA's Sandman.
They got their own that one that has only has power for like an hour. Or is that Hour Man?
No, that's Hour Man.
You got me for 1 hour, then I'm out of here.
Sandman's the one that has the guns.
Oh god, that makes no fucking sense.
They're aged into withering old men. Do you remember who Wildcat is?
Damn it, Barnacle Boy, we gotta stop this. Merman, I'm so old.
From New York, Wave Rider feels the presence of Extant and is able to track him down to the vanishing point where the Linear Men were defeated. He is too late to save most of the members of the society.
Why is it called the vanishing point?
Because it's like a time outside of time.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a vanishing point.
Just doesn't exist.
Right.
That's wild. Okay.
So Wave Rider basically shows up to help the Justice Society.
For something that doesn't exist. Everyone's fucking there. They all keep showing up at the same spot.
Wave Rider's too late to save most of the members of the Justice Society. All of them except for Alan Scott, which is the original Green Lantern.
The one that can't fight wood, apparently.
Yeah.
So down a baseball bat, I'll beat the hell out of me.
No, a pencil both beats Hal Jordan and Alan Scott.
So it's yellow and it's fucking wood.
All of them except for Alan Scott are aged to old men by Extent's powers. A city from the 21st century, home of Booster Gold, appears above New York City and begins slowly descending, about to crush everything.
Jesus Christ, it almost is shit. I bet the news must love being in the DC universe. Well,
They've always got news.
We got some news story for you. A city just showed up on top of us and we're going to get crushed in 20 minutes.
Die. But it slowly descends.
Check in on News 9 at 5 for further updates.
Metron explains that alternate timelines, past and future, true and false, are all merging with the present. After putting the Justice Society in stasis to stabilize them, Wave Rider confronts Extent. He is shocked whenever Extent unmasks himself and reveals a face identical to Wave Rider's own. Because he's a duplicate, basically, of Wave Rider. All right, then we go into Crisis in Time 2. The recently unmasked Extent explains to Wave Rider that they appear identical because he duplicated Wave Rider's powers. Extent leaves to coordinate his other machinations, and Wave Rider has to transport the horribly aged Justice Society back to Earth after they've all been
old as hell, just shitting their diapers and everything.
Got their depends.
God. Oh my God. How the fuck? I want to go to Golden Corral. This is bullshit.
No, not Golden Corral, Cracker Barrel.
Is it Cracker Barrel? The hometown buffet. We got to get the hometown buffet. It's almost 8 in the morning.
Gotta get to bed by 6. In New York, Metron helps the world's heroes deal with the descending city from the 21st century by sending it back to its own period via boom tube.
Boom tube.
Wave Rider arrives and reports the most recent damage Extent has done. Broken, defeated, and hospitalized. ASA is forced to retreat
old
from the
as
fighting.
Fucking break their hip just standing up.
Oh shit. Having determined many other problems are currently in the future, the heroes travel to the 31st century accompanying the Legionnaires. Before they can find a way to combat the entropy waves, they are all confusingly attacked by the Teen Titans. The Teamers are being controlled by Extent, who was earlier revealed to be their founder and mysterious leader using their communicators. Dr. Mist is erased from existence in front of the laymen.
Wait, so when they're erased, they're just like, did you just stop acknowledging them, that they existed, or?
I'm trying to remember.
You'd be like, imagine like you're talking to the guy, right? Like, well, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna stop that? And he just disappeared, right? And like, well, and he just turned around and talked to someone else.
No, I don't think he's erased from your memory. He's just erased from time.
Okay.
Like, just gone.
That would be like imagine that like in a sci-fi movie, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have all the top scientists trying to figure out what's going on, and they just each of them start disappearing, right? And then you got like the morons like me, like, well, all the top scientists are fucking disappearing.
Just gone.
I guess I like movies where like it just keeps like just shitting in your face over like continuously.
Yeah.
And like there's always a good reason why you win instead of just like an ex machina, like, oh, we just won.
Yeah. Like, well, because plot armor says we won.
Right. I like when the others stand against the hero, because heroes are by definition heroes.
Right.
So they need as much shit thrown on them as humanly possible.
You got to actually have something. There has to be stakes.
Right.
And like even with the new Marvel movies, to me,
like those fucking Fast movies, like, oh, there's a family will stop it.
Family.
I'll just
believe in the power of family.
I can stop a fucking truck with my fucking abs because I believe in family. I don't like the Fast movies, is what I'm telling you.
I can tell.
We're gonna go to space on a fucking bicycle because we believe in family. Go on. We're going a 45-minute rant about Vin Diesel and his shitty movies.
Then we go into Riddick.
Riddick? That was okay. The first one, Pitch Black, and the last one, Riddick, were great. The middle one was horrendous.
All right, getting back to the story and timeline.
Plus, I didn't want to see an ass naked Vin Diesel to begin with, but it's seared in my memory.
I got a story later.
Ass cheeks flapping in the wind. I gotta get back down to my roots. One ass naked, one with nature.
Oh shit!
Go on.
Well, with the JSA in the hospital, Alan Scott and Jay Garrick stay in the hospital with their friends. They are told that while Wildcat and Sandman will survive,
That was a bad Wildcat. That was a bad phrase.
Wildcat,
Yeah, well, that was a bad phrase to use. Whoever wrote that.
and Sandman will survive, the doctors were unable to save Dr. Midnight. Garrick decides to pay a call on the Spectre and ask him for help. I mean,
Yo,
'cause
Spectre,
why wouldn't you?
Why didn't you call him to begin with?
Like, he's like, literally, we went over the hierarchy last week. He's one of the most powerful beings. Why would you not call the Spectre? But apparently they didn't think about it before this, so.
Wouldn't it be like out of existence? Wasn't it earlier in time? Wouldn't they have already squeezed him out?
Well, the Spectre's above time in space.
Okay, just making
So
sure.
he wouldn't be affected by time nor space. So if you deleted all of, like, if you, because this crisis basically happens within the orrery of worlds. So like if it was the new 52, it'd be those 52 worlds. This is before that concept basically, but the Spectre's in a level above that.
It must be nice not having to deal with existential crises all the time.
Supergirl tries to help Power Girl deal with her pregnancy, but is forced. But a force field.
Don't you worry, baby. I'll raise that baby with you. They end up in a lesbian relationship. I'm sorry. I'm fantasizing.
But a force field projects from her, apparently being generated by the baby itself.
What?
Extant gloats over the linear men, Matthew Ryder and Leary Lee. God,
Jesus Christ.
who appears to have trapped in stasis. He criticizes them for observing time, but never using the power they had to attempt to change it for the better.
Or to get all the scores so you can win all the championships and make a lot of money.
In the distant past, a group of heroes led by Nightwing trying to help Wave Rider combat the entropy waves, but are also being set upon by the group of Teen Titans. After Nightwing guesses that the Titans are being controlled, Extant shows up and attacks Wave Rider again. He appears not to have Wave Rider's powers and is apparently a slightly past version of the Extant who recently confronted.
Wait, so there's another Extant that just popped out of nowhere.
Because with the time variation,
Right.
like, you have a previous version coming at you now.
Oh my! I'd be having to have a chart and put a sticker on everybody. Like which timeline are you from? What?
Wave Rider is barely able to send the heroes back to their own time before Extant strikes him down and absorbs him and his powers. The future Extant watches as he does this. In the 30th century, Metron believes that he has figured out how to stop the entropy using his Mobius chair. Superman and Captain Atom team up to help make the entropy collapse upon itself. Pure quantum energy ignites the chair and the boom tomb opens up within the rift, turning it inside out. The weight of the time stream and the universe collapse, making reality's fabric whole once again.
Yeah.
Rock Kryn and the Time Trapper arrive to help the heroes return to their own time. Back in the present, the other heroes are still fighting the Teen Titans. Warrior finds himself manifesting new powers, able to sprout weaponry from his armor upon the thought command. Finally, the Teen Titans disappear as the heroes' interference in the 30th century has wiped out the alternate timeline of the Teen Titans.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
The heroes who were in the future return, including Terra and Mirage. The heroes are confused as to why those two still exist, which Batgirl hypothesizes is because they were in temporal transit at the time. So being transferred basically through time, so they weren't affected by it.
Oh, okay.
So since they were kind of like in a bubble of the time stream that
Constantly,
had been
yeah.
affected,
That's cool. A little protective,
kind of like a shield in
a layer of time.
Guy Gardner wonders if the current time fluxes could be used to their advantage to bring back Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Elsewhere, Extant merges with his past self and angrily wonders how he could be failing despite his concrete prior knowledge of his success based on previous trips to the future.
Oh, Jesus. Then a future one comes in like, we're still going to lose anyway. Like the oldest version of himself.
And then you have a mysterious figure in the 30th century who reopen the rifts of the entropy itself.
Again? Mm-hmm. Jesus.
Then we go down to number 1. In Coast City, Warrior, Steel, Supergirl, and Batgirl attempt to escape the entropy, fresh from their own adventure through time.
Jeez. Like, we just finished fighting time.
Exactly.
Guess what? Let's fight some more time.
Extant looks at the entropy and wonders how all of this could have been created without his knowledge, because he thought he was the one creating this whole thing, this whole time issue. He thought he was the one doing it.
Damn, so it wasn't him.
The true hand responsible steps out and reveals himself. Parallax.
Oh.
Parallax is the one doing it all. Parallax tells Extant that he has been responsible for all of the chaos and blasts Extant into submission. In the 30th century, the Legion of Superheroes stand in their time paradox counterpart.
Wait, so he hit him so hard he just made him a bottom bitch?
Yeah.
God damn.
It's like, bitch, you thought you were controlling shit. And then just smack the shit out of him.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry, daddy.
It'd be like Butter's bottom bitch.
Basically.
The Legion of Superheroes stand with their time paradox counterparts, and the Time Legion is gone. Parallax shows up and murders the time trapper again.
Jesus,
He's been
that man
killed
can't
twice.
catch a fucking break.
Exactly. In New York City, Wonder Woman helps Power Girl through her pregnancy, and the heroes from the future, like Impulse and Booster Gold, begin disappearing as the times they've come from cease to exist.
That seems kind of mean. Like Wonder Woman is like, oh, the women heroes are having to deal with a pregnancy. We got to deal with the men stuff. Like that's kind of mean, actually. But they can't help with the time stuff too.
Yeah, because the dudes there don't know nothing about pregnancy, though. I mean, to be fair, they don't. You think Batman push?
Probably, yeah. He does everything else. I'm gonna deliver this baby.
I can see him doing it.
Basically, yeah. I need prep time first. Hold on.
Then you got Jay Garrick. He's basically pleading with the Spectre to get involved in the crisis. As Jay Garrick fades away, the Spectre realizes that there's a human hand coordinate the events. Because if it wasn't a human created event and it was just natural, the Spectre will not take
Oh, okay.
any action against it, because it's like, if this is how things are meant to be, it's basically God's will at that point, so he won't interrupt that. And tells Jay that he will deal.
I'm gonna use that next time I'm late for work. It's God's will. If I was meant to be on time, I would have been on time.
And it won't work. He'll look at you like,
Still dock my pay.
All right, so you got the Spectre. He's realizing, obviously, that it's a human hand coordinate the events, and he tells Jay Garrick that his death will be avenged.
I got you, bro. Don't you worry. I hate that, by the way. Don't avenge my death. Save my fucking life. I don't want to avenge. That's just fucking pointless to me. I'm dead.
As chaos consumes New York City, Metron takes a select number of heroes back to the Vanishing Point to seek temporary haven where time
The most
does not
visited
exist.
place ever in existence.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And they regroup themselves. Metron, along with Superman, Green Lantern, Donna Troy, and the Atom,
So I say Donatello.
Donatello.
How they got Donatello too.
they all arrive at the Vanishing Point and find the Linear Men still in stasis.
Those guys are, by the way, the most useless people.
Pretty much.
Like they introduced them just to be useless. I mean, they haven't done a damn
They're
thing.
like just a plot point.
Basically,
Lacking the ability to travel through time with the precision they require, they intend to convert Matthew Ryder, a man from the future, into Wave Rider, like his counterpart from another timeline was.
good God.
Alan Scott and Starman preside over their injured friends in the hospital still, having grown too old to continue his career.
No kidding.
Starman passes his legacy onto his son David. Finding them hiding in one of the last remaining pockets of reality, Extant brutally murders the laymen. So
Jesus.
they're lame. They're laymen or lame. Extant shows up in New York City and confronts the last heroes left alive. Batman is killed as an entropy fissure opens up right on top of him.
Damn.
So he got it like just you're dead.
Like that. I guess it was a way to shock, like it just happened like in a flash to anybody.
Well, it didn't give him prep time.
Apparently not. Like if I knew it was there, I would have got away with it, but I didn't know, so I didn't.
As the heroes prepare a last stand, the new Wave Rider shows up to fight Extant.
Guess who's back?
The Atom tries to get inside Extant's head, but instead is aged backwards to 18 years old.
So what's?
Instead of growing older, he grows younger.
Yeah, like he was fucking buff as hell now, probably.
Superman engages Extant as well, but the mastermind behind the entire crisis reveals himself to everyone. Parallax announces that he has engineered everything, believing that the time stream is not right and has to be changed. But to recreate the universe, he first has to obliterate it.
Aren't you Thanos? What's that line from the End Game? They'll never know anything was wrong because they'll never know I fixed the universe. I can't remember. It was a really. He was telling Iron Man that he was going to reshape the universe in his image,
Yeah,
the way he wanted it, and they'll no one will ever stop. Oh, they'll never stop me because they'll never know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
Which is a good line.
Yeah, man, that man can spit out like a goddamn scholar. Oh.
Alrighty, and now we go to Crisis number 0. This is the last one of that series. Parallax explains his plan to some of the last remaining heroes.
The great plan explanation.
Yep. Batgirl, Guy Gardner, Alpha Centaurion, and Triumph to recreate a better universe for everyone now that he's nearly destroyed everything. He developed his great new powers by absorbing residual energies left over from the defeat of the Anti-Monitor in the final crisis, in the first crisis. He journeyed to the end of time, where he harnessed entropy and used it to weaken the link maintaining time's perpetual loop. At Vanishing Point, we're back there to the Vanishing Point again. We have Wave Rider, Superman, and the others try to think of different solutions that they can use.
Let me punch him in the face real hard. Facing Superman's plan.
Hands. Just bring out the hands.
Let me give him the hands.
Also gathered are Captain Atom, Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner, Hawkman, The Ray, Leary Lee, Donna Troy, Green Arrow. I don't know what the hell he's going to do. And the Linear Man.
I'd be there too. Like, damn, what are we going to do?
Parallax begins to recreate the universe, beginning by removing the destruction of Coast City. So that's what.
Why didn't he just fix Coast City and just let it lie?
Because he's fixing
Make everyone forget.
He also plans to resurrect the Green Lantern Corps, and he even considers setting up an alternate Earth so that the individual heroes can be happy in their own worlds.
He's like, there you go, problem solved.
Before he can make any serious changes, the team from Vanishing Point arrives, and Parallax is blasted by Wave Rider.
Wouldn't it be an amazing plot twist if that's what actually happened? He did give them their own universe.
Yeah.
And then, like, tomorrow they drop an issue, right? Or on Wednesday they drop new issues saying, like, they have, like, Parallax in the background. And, like, it's like someone finally figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, Batman's been, like, for years, like, something's not right.
It'd be Batman to figure it out first.
Probably.
As they hold their final confrontation, Parallax argues with the group, maintaining that they are all short-sighted, and his killing of billions was justified in the name of a better world. Have we heard that one before?
Thank you, Thanos. You're going to murder billions?
I wonder what one came first, though.
What?
The Thanos or the Parallax? Which series took place, I wonder, first? About billions will die, and who cares?
Or no, I guess he said, like... In the movie, he said, like, you'll kill billions or you kill millions to say billions or some shit. I don't know. Like, it doesn't make any sense, actually.
No,
like, you're killing half of the world, the entire universe. And that's another thing. How much of that universe was it? Just that one universe? What about the Watchers? I guess because it's only the extent of his own mind. Mm-hmm. So if he didn't know the Watchers existed, he would have never affected them.
Right.
So it's only. But then again, that's weird. Because, yeah, like in your head, right? Like in my head, right? I know humans exist. I know Thanos exists. The Guardians of the Galaxy exist. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying like half of everything in existence to me, or everything in existence.
But didn't he just say all life?
Yeah, I guess he did. Like half of all life.
Right. Like
that's how he did it. Yeah,
it was life.
Because he didn't like he knew he didn't know enough about the entire universe. It's like, hey, half of what's alive.
That includes plants and trees.
Yeah, birds too.
Insects, everything.
Everything, half of everything. That man will never be topped. I don't care what they say. The next DC Marvel villain is going to be top of... No, Thanos is Thanos.
Coming from alternate timelines and having been convinced on the value in Parallax's goals, Alpha Centaurion and Batgirl join Extant to fight on his side. So they switch sides.
Bitch.
To confront Parallax, the Spectre himself arrives, and the two begin to duke it out in a fight on cosmic proportions.
Let's go!
Then we have, while Parallax is distracted, Wave Rider and the other heroes have gathered, follow his carefully laid out plans.
Here's what we do. We jump him.
Stray energy is drawn from the fight by those capable of absorbing it, and using Wave Rider as a conductor is channeled into Damage. A different character.
Okay, I'm like, they just damage into his...
They channel it into more damage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
As Parallax is about to kill Damage, Batgirl dives in the way and sacrifices herself to save him. Kyle Rayner comes up from behind to grab Parallax just as Green Arrow resigns himself to putting Parallax down once and for all.
I'm sorry, bro. Just gotta do it.
I mean, they were best friends. So
Green Arrow.
Remember they traveled the country together?
Yeah. Road trip, yo.
Green Arrow shoots Parallax through the chest and kills him. Satisfied justice has been done, the Spectre deliberately pumps more energy into Damage until he is unable to control himself. Filled with an overwhelming number of energies on both a cosmic and biblical scale, Damage explodes and creates a new Big Bang.
Well, damn, Spectre.
Just take more, bitch.
Like, you didn't have to kill.
Like, you can tell the Spectre has no emotion, or at least just like, yeah, take the power.
Matter of fact, basically.
Exactly. Wave Rider and the other heroes, having barely escaped by being taken outside of time and becoming anomalies themselves, overlook the new universe. Displaced characters like Alpha Centaurion and Batgirl's corpse fade away, and X-Temp simply leaves.
That's imagine going to her world and just there's a dead Batgirl.
Exactly.
Batman's like, what the fuck happened? And he'll never solve the mystery. I don't understand.
It's just something he can't figure out.
Yeah, like, I don't understand.
Wave Rider has everybody safely reinserted back into the moments in the time stream that they came from, and the world is completely back to normal. All of the deaths caused by temporal anomaly are reverted, although those who died of natural means remain dead. So all the JSA people that had died of natural
old
means,
age.
yeah.
That wasn't natural. They aged too quicker.
And Wave Rider explains what happened to those who are confused. In the meantime,
Yeah, I'm confused. I'm old as fuck.
in the meantime of all the death, Power Girl has conceived an infant child, a boy. As Green Arrow mourns the death of his best friend, and the Linear Men go back to their arduous task
I'm doing nothing.
Exactly. The Time Trapper, consistent at the end of time, presides and ponders over the events. We also have a backlash after this crisis. So we have Superman. Shortly after 0 hour, Superman has recently returned from the dead after the death of Superman during the reign of Superman. Metropolis has been destroyed during the fall of Metropolis.
He went mad, went to the Guardians of the Green Lanterns, took their power, and then repeated 0 hour again.
Right. The heroes of Metropolis also met from Otherworld during Worlds Collide, a different entire little mini-series.
Okay.
Such as Icon, Hardware, Static, and the Blood Syndicate to fight a new supervillain, Rift. Although the events of Worlds Collide were erased from the history during 0 hour, Metropolis itself wouldn't be restored until much later. During the crisis, Superman encountered a number of alternate realities. He first encounters the anomalies when he runs into a large group of alternate versions of Batman. Superman also encountered a timeline where his parents, Jor-El and Lara, have been mistaken about Krypton blowing up. Had lived on and rocketed him to Earth anyway. So they thought Krypton was going to blow up, but never did.
Damn.
And tried to convince him to come back to live with them. A version of Metropolis appeared in which Superman had never been heard of, but the city was protected by Alpha Centaurion instead. Another timeline featured a Smallville where Emmett Vale had become the Kryptonian Rocket before Jonathan and Martha Kent. Killed baby Kal-El and harnessed Kryptonian technology for himself. Superboy, Kal-El also ran into an alternate Superboy, the younger version of Superman from the Silver Age. In the aftermath of 0 hour, a new character, Conduit, was retconned into Superman's origins during the Conduit saga. We also have Batman, which was shortly after the crisis. Batman had been recovering from Bane breaking his back during Nightfall.
You go from the most unbelievable sci-fi world,
Superman,
and right? Like, he broke my fucking back. This big motherfucking gorilla broke my fucking back and just left me laying there in a puddle of pee.
and had been recovering his mantle from Azrael. During Zero Hour, despite the fact that his alter ego, Barbara Gordon, had been crippled below the waist by the Joker years before, an alternate version of Batgirl reappeared active in Gotham City. Alfred Pennyworth was replaced by his Golden Age counterpart, Alfred Beagle.
What the who the fuck? What?
Yeah.
That was a different
That was his
Alfred?
original name is Beagle.
It's fucking stupid.
Yep. Batman also saw an alternate reality in which his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, had not been killed by Joe Chill at all. Although Batman still pursued the mugger. Like, bitch, I'm still going to fucking find you.
Yeah, what the hell? He didn't do anything.
Tim Drake Robin met the original Robin, Dick Grayson, while he was still active as a sidekick.
That's cool.
Catwoman met a caveman and interacted with the saber-tooth tiger during the whole 0 hour.
What do you mean
thing.
interacted with? Interacted with.
Not quite, not
I didn't like the sound of that.
After 0 Hour, Batman's origins were changed. The mugger who killed his parents was no longer Joe Chill, but an unidentified assailant, and Batman was no longer aware of who was responsible for the murder. This is after 0 Hour.
They changed his timeline. Instead of the mugger killed both his parents, they slapped him on the face 2 times. Slapped the shit out of him.
These changes made the entire Batman Year 2 story apocryphal. Batman no longer a public figure, but was thought of as being an urban legend again.
Oh.
So that's how they kind of
They had to fix
retconned a lot of things. Elements of Batman's origins and crime-fighting techniques and in equipment were detailed and clarified. Contrary to her portrayal in Batman Year 1, Selena Kyle no longer had been a prostitute before becoming Catwoman anymore.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid.
It really was. It was very stupid. Not ready to fully return to his responsibilities as Batman, Bruce Wayne passed the mantle onto his sidekick, Dick Grayson. Grayson's time as Batman would have been explored in Batman Prodigal Son later on. Then we have ramifications for the Justice League. So prior to 0 Hour, Power Girl became pregnant by unclear means. So they didn't even explain.
Jesus Christ was reborn.
Shortly after the crisis, Justice League International saved humanity from destruction at the hands of the Overmaster and the Cadre during Judgment Day. Ice was killed in the conflict. During the crisis, Triumph, a hero who claimed to be one of the founding members of the Justice League of America, showed up at the Justice League embassy asking for the JLA's help. Apparently, Triumph had first brought together the original members of the Justice League to combat an alien threat, but had sacrificed himself into the time stream, and had been automatically corrected out of existence after this.
Remember that X-Men guy that exists but doesn't exist? You ever heard of him?
You're not talking about Cable. No,
he's really obscure. He's an X-Men that his ability is that if people aren't acutely aware of interacting with him, the minute they lose eye contact of him, they forget he exists. And then Charles Xavier has to keep putting mental check marks in his brain to remember him. But there is an X-Men that's on the team that no one knows is on the team. It is you look it up. It is fucking trippy.
After the crisis, there was some reorganization of the League. Triumph and the Ray joined Justice League Task Force, which Martian Manor was developing more of its own independent team instead of just being a subgroup of the Justice League International. Hawkman, Nucleon, and Obsidian also joined the regular JLA. A new Amazing Man debuted, who joined it recently.
He had no powers, and they beat the hell out of him.
And then we have the ramifications of the Titans. Prior to 0 Hour, the Titans team suffered numerous major changes, including the failed marriage of Nightwing and Starfire.
Damn.
Cyborg's lost.
He couldn't keep all that?
No.
Damn.
I mean, he can't be Superman, where he brings back Lois Lane after
bangs her after 15,000 years.
Cyborg's loss of humanity and a sudden power boost for Changeling. As well, it was revealed, but not to the team, that the Teen Titans were actually pawns of Monarch. Their past and histories created to play in his schemes and create an army to use later. During the crisis, the alternate futures that the Teen Titans came from were erased, eradicating the so-called heroes from the future, save Mirage and Terra, as well as other Titans found and recruited Damage, who were instrumental in saving time. After the crisis, Arsenal, would form a new team of Titans, recruiting Impulse, Darkstar, Green Lantern, which is the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, Supergirl, Matrix in this one, Mirage, and Terra. The latter two would learn that they were actually pawns of the Time Trapper against Extant, though Terra's exact origins are still unknown, at least at the time of this crisis. Basically, this whole crisis was set into motion to correct a bunch of fuckery that had been going on in DC Comics for so long.
A lot of fixing to do.
Now, I give them credit. They did have a lot of original ideas in this. So, like, starting off with labeling the comic books from number 4 backwards was something that nobody else had done. And a lot of the ideas of, like, okay, we're going to erase just time. It's like,
we got to fix a lot of stuff. How do we do it?
Like, you get that with Marvel, too, I think, somewhat. Like with, what's it, Kang?
Kang?
Isn't Kang Kang is the time hopper?
Kang is the multiversal jumper.
Is he multiverse, or is he?
Well, in the MCU, he's I call it the MCM now, Marvel Cinematic Multiverse.
Yeah.
He's there used to be a multiversal war,
right,
between all Kangs or all persons of that lineage or identity. And eventually one of them won. He suppressed all the other ones and created one single timeline.
Right.
The sacred timeline. The one that we know from the MCU.
Right.
All the Thanos stuff, all the Iron Man, Captain America, all that stuff is one linear line. And then somebody broke it. Either Loki broke it, Scarlet Witch broke it, or Doctor Strange. Somebody broke the multiverse back open.
That's a combination of all.
It could be all of them at one time.
They
Yeah.
all fucked it up.
That perfect 3 hits. It caused and now there's a multiverse. And there's just like and then the guy that had the sacred timeline, he died, killed by Loki, and that opened up the prison, and now there's just a billion fucking Kangs. Like, the multiverse. That's how there was 3 Spider-Men in that last one, because before that it was just that one guy.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, my bad.
Tom Hardy. That's a totally different
It's
person.
Venom altogether. But it's I don't know who the actor's going to be for Kang. Well, I guess Kang is dead.
Yeah.
He got beaten by Ant-Man, but there's still more of that type of person.
Right. I was thinking of it being where he was over just time streams only.
I guess maybe in the comic book, yeah.
But then again, I'm going back to the old 90s comics.
Which I have no clue about. I barely have any clue about any comic books other than the movies.
I mean, the sad thing is whenever this comic book came out, I was like 3. So
Damn.
it's a long time. But the storylines, I think, are a lot better from the older series because I actually had to put some effort into it instead of just randomly writing shit. Which now there's been so many crises from DC Comics that there are no more characters like Parallax, where it's like you don't. What I like about it too is you don't have Parallax revealing himself from the very beginning. It's like a couple of issues in, and then you finally
Like, what is 3 in?
Yep.
It's like, surprise!
Surprise, bitch. And then the person that thought he was doing all the damage,
It's actually just taking it up the butt
pretty much.
this whole time. It's like, man, my booty hole hurts all the time for some reason.
But that is everything I've got on this. I hope you guys enjoyed Zero Hour, A Crisis in Time.
I did.
If people actually like it, we can go over a couple of the other big world-ending things from DC Comics or Marvel. Either way.
It's universe ending.
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah.
The whole world ending's kind of gone away.
Yeah.
They want to do everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, damn. Because if it's world ending, you can just leave the planet. So let's go live on the moon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that is everything I got. And anything else to add before we head out?
No.
All right. We will see you guys on the next one.